Kezia, hi.
Hi, Claudia. How are you
I'm
doing? Happy
doing
Friday.
well. Happy Friday. Listen, this is like we're having a fabulous natural hair moment right now
Oh
that I'm
my
loving.
gosh. I just hopped on IG Live. I was like, y'all, the curls are popping, even if it's like the rain outside. And I'm loving your hair. Four C's, four B's unite.
Thank you. Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm so happy to have you here. You are a one hard lady to get a hold of.
I
Okay.
know. I'm
Uh,
so sorry. Things have been crazy busy, but all for good purpose.
yes, we love to see it. We love to see it, you know. And so you were interviewed by one of our contributing writers, Malik, who's
Yes, I love
wonderful.
Malik.
Love
Yes,
Malik.
Malik is amazing.
Yes. And, I think that what struck me most from your interview was this. You said that you were a financial emancipator.
Come on. Hello. That
Oh,
was a whole word. I had to think about that before I told you that too.
like I love it. I think it's got to be a hashtag. You got to coin it, because
Yes.
I think that it does a really great job of summing up this conversation of Black wealth because it really is a mindset. And to truly
Mhm.
be emancipated, you have to have an emancipated mindset. Um,
Yes.
and so I think I would love to kind of talk to you about this mindset since you started the Upstart in 2015 with
Mhm.
Black entrepreneurship, with
Yes.
people wanting to become entrepreneurs, but on the
Yes.
other side, bringing Black people to Black business and showing them that it is worth their investment.
Yes. All
Yeah.
right. Where should we start, Claudia? Because I have all types of thoughts going through my mind. Which question should I answer first?
So I guess talk to me about the mentality. Tell me about the
Yes.
change you've seen in Black entrepreneurship since starting the Black Upstart.
So, mindset, right? So, I like to tell people that Black wealth is a mindset before it's an asset. So, I'm
Mm,
going to say that one more time because it's important for folks to understand that you don't have to have $1 million to have $1 million mindset. That Black wealth is a mindset before it's an asset because as a man think it, so is he. As a woman think it, so is she. And I
mm,
think we saw at the beginning of 2020 that there were a lot of people who were discouraged, right? Because the plans had to change as COVID happened and we
right.
had to pivot. But what I keep telling people is that though the plan may have changed, the purpose has not. So if
Mm,
you set out to say, this is going to be the year that I work full time for myself, this is going to be the year that I hit a 700 credit score, this is going to be the year that I sell 500 products instead of two products, then guess what? The purpose still remains the same, but the plan has to change. Now,
mhm,
how has this changed for Black entrepreneurs? I think, unlike other historical moments, buying Black has trended longer than just a day. Now, we've
mhm.
had some one day activations, right? Some one day activations where folks are like, buy Black. And I think those are significant because it puts buying Black at the top of folks' consciousness. But what's different about this is people have begun to ask themselves that question on a habitual basis.
Exactly.
Entrepreneurs then on the other side of that have been brainstorming how can you capitalize off of this changed mindset and turn it into cash flow. I think though that there needs to be a little bit of a shift. I think prior to this moment and up until this moment, that buying Black has been in response to corporate misbehavior or the public execution of a Black life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes,
So that's what I'm getting at. It's kind of like,
yes,
my mother would always joke with me when I was young, and she was like, some people think the white man's ice is colder.
come on
And,
now.
and so I love this. I feel like you're really about to hit on it about what that changes to get us to just buy Black.
Yeah. So it's been in response again to corporate misbehavior, the public execution of a Black life. So then buying Black then became charitable. Buying Black became philanthropic, right? Buying Black became responsive. And I think where we need to pivot to as a people is to asking ourselves every single time we make a purchase, can we buy Black first? We know that when we buy with Black owned businesses, Black entrepreneurs are more likely to create Black jobs, that we are
Mm,
more likely to give back to Black causes, that we are also more willing to take that Black income and turn it into Black assets that benefit Black communities. Black people spend $1.3 trillion annually, but that
ooh,
1.3 trillion annually is usually used to make other communities rich if there's not a protest. So with
mm,
Black Upstart and also with our new initiative, My Black Receipt, we are asking Black consumers and allies of Black businesses to put your receipt where your protest is, even when the protest ends.
Yeah, that I think was so powerful. Did you anticipate My Black Receipt popping off the way that it did?
No. So I knew that we would have people participating, right? I knew that people would not leave us high and dry. And I knew if we only collected a handful of receipts and we changed a few minds, that when you change a few minds, that
Yep.
has trickle down effects, positive trickle down effects. But the way in which the community embraced this challenge was absolutely amazing and phenomenal. I say that I'm surprised, and I am, but to be quite honest, we've done this before, Claudia. I mean, Black Wall Street was My Black Receipt lived out loud, right? Like those receipts were circulated in the community at least 100 times before they left. And so what we're doing with My Black Receipt, what Black people can identify with, instead of empty calls to action about rebuilding Black Wall Street, what we're saying is that we can rebuild Black Wall Street real time with our Black Receipts, leveraging technology. And so moving forward with My Black Receipt, we ended on July 6th temporarily and reactivating again in August, which is Black Business Month.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I also read that you have something new in the works called
We have
Skill
some
House.
call who? What's it called?
Skill House.
Skill House You. Yes. I was like, girl, we do. I didn't know. I know Skill House You. Yeah, so Skill House You actually started the first month of the pandemic.
Okay.
We knew that Black wealth was projected to be zero by year 2053. And we knew that recession, depression could be opportunities to exacerbate that, right? So like
Absolutely.
our Skill House You were Black wealth classes that taught Black people not only how to protect their income, but how to multiply their income in such a way where they can leverage a portion of that income to buy assets during a time when other people are losing income and also losing assets. So it was an intentional educational intervention.
Oh, wow. So I'm so sad that I missed the boat on that.
It's okay. We're coming back. We're coming back in August with Skill House You too.
Okay, so you definitely. So how do you get involved with Skill House? Is it like a application or is it just a class, like a group of classes or workshops? How does that look?
So we call it Classrooms for the Culture. And because we wanted to be accessible to all people, we host these classes for free via Instagram Live. We're probably going to be moving on to a different platform so people can access the information for free and then they can pay for the replay at a later date. So we've talked about how you can buy your first home with no money down. We've talked about how you can invest in the stock market with less than $100. And we've talked about how you can take advantage of all aspects of the stimulus plan, not just the $1,200 paycheck if you qualify.
Wow. So where do we find this information? Is there a website or?
Yes. So we have so many websites and we're consolidating, y'all. So hang with us, y'all.
Okay.
We a startup. Black Upstart is still a startup. So for more information about the Black Upstart, you can visit theblackupstart.com. You can also visit Skill House U. So that's the letter U and not the word. So SKILLHOUS. And then the letter U.com. And then if you want to upload your receipts, then that is myblackreceipt.com.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's awesome. So I can't wait for the unified platform because that's going to be amazing.
UNITY, Claudia.
What, kind of advice would you give to somebody who is just, where do you start in financial emancipation, right? So say you aren't an entrepreneur, say you're just a consumer, you're a person that is trying to get a hold of your finances, but you don't really know that much. What are some, first steps that you would kind of give people?
I think that's a good question. We talked about the first one, and that is the mindset right before it becomes an asset. But two, one of the things that I talked about today was you need to really study the Black wealth, Black print. And what I call that is that the way in which Black people can access wealth in this economy, in this capitalist America, is going to be different than how Black people do it. And so we've heard that investing, right, is for people who have a lot of money. That's not necessarily true. You have influencers like Wall Street Trapper, who was a returning citizen that came back and he was able to start investing with as little as $100 and grow his investments to a substantial size, right? When we're talking about business, instead of saying you want to be the next Black Bill Gates, let's reminisce on how Issa Rae got started. She got started for free on YouTube, right? And then she crowdfunded her season 2 and catapulted that into paid opportunities as her own production company at HBO. If you're looking, let's say, to buy a home, there are a lot of Black home buyers and Black home educators like Keith James. He's right here in Washington, D.C. Credit repair specialists like Mamadou, who can help you do that where you are. How can you repair your credit before you even pursue a mortgage? And so I think that Black people need to be very intentional about where they find their resources and make sure that they talk to influencers who have traversed that path and do more with less.
Okay, that is so important. More with less, because I think that when you talk about mentality, there's this idea of scarcity. And so you want to hold on to the money, you don't want to invest, you don't want to spend. And, stocks and things like that can be so intimidating if you don't know the language. So I think that telling people to really know where they're getting their resources from is just,
Right. I mean, and the biggest thing is, honestly, you have to be a knowledge seeker. I would say that you can't swim in an ocean of knowledge and drown in ignorance. We're in the information economy right now. So at the other side of your fingertips is an opportunity for you to qualify your Black excellence with Black knowledge, right? So like, what resources are you reading? How are you leveraging your time? If the only book that you've read is Facebook in a day, then you're hustling backwards, right? You have investedpedia.com, you have money.com, you have Black Enterprise, you have Skillhouse U, you have all of these resources that are available to you for free. Use those to maximize your Black wealth position. And I want to say one more thing. I know we don't have a lot of time left, but you talked about scarcity. And I think that we oftentimes as Black people think that we have to do things alone, right? Strong Black man, strong Black woman, I can do this all by myself. But our ancestors have taught that we can succeed in a communal space. I think that that's why the popularity of SUSUs are coming back, like collective and communal savings club. That's why we talk about Black family LLCs, where you can do business with your skinfolk or your kinfolk and put your pennies together and assets, right? When we teach at Skillhouse U, we say that rising tides lift all boats, and people have the misconception that we're talking about the boat, but we're talking about the tide. Because oftentimes you look at the boat and you like, his boat is bigger than my boat. I got a little small boat. This person got a medium-sized boat, and everybody trying to be the biggest boat in the ocean. The ocean would not exist unless there were millions upon millions of drifts. So we say you need to focus on being the tide and not the boat, right? Because rising tides will lift every single boat in that ocean.
Oh, I love that. There was just so many takeaways from that. Like, I hope somebody was transcribing in the background. We've got some quotes to put on Instagram. So what I will leave or ask you to leave us with are there some Black businesses that you're loving right now in DC?
Yes. Well, first, what I want to do is I want to shout out Malik Glee. He is a Black Upstart alum, and I had the pleasure of talking to him for this interview. And I want to thank him so much for telling a Black story in a Black publication. Shout out to Lafayette. Shout out to you, Claudia, and telling Black stories in a Black space. So I want to start there. The businesses that I'm loving in DC are Nubian Human. I get my fix from there. I love Turning Natural, Mary and Berry, the Nipsey Hussle smoothie. The spinach patties, love that. So those are two of my favorite businesses. They're New Vegan, love New Vegan. They make fried chicken, even though it's not fried chicken, tastes absolutely delicious. So these are businesses that see me at least once a month. Turning Natural really 4 times a week. So
I love the flu shot. Like, I need that. It keeps me together. Yes.
The flu shot is absolutely my favorite. There's also some online businesses as well that I patronize, but for DC proper, those are the 3 that I love.
Those are 3. Yeah. Awesome. Well,
Claudia, can I shout out one more? Because you talking about the curl. Belle Nouveau, a Black man, created these products, y'all, in his living room for his sister. And he gets my edges right every single time. You can see them edges, child, because they weren't there 4 years ago. He gets the curl kind of right.
Say the name of those products again.
It's called Belle Nouveau, and you spell it Belnouvo. So Belle Nouveau, and that was started by Arkman DeRosier.
Oh, wow. Here in DC?
So he was here in DC. He since moved, but he spent 6 years here in DC, and he was actually a Black Upstart faculty member as well. But his products are located online. So there's a lot of online businesses that I also patronize during this time as well. Belle Nouveau is at the top of that list.
Oh, wow. I love it. I love it. Okay. Well, just thank you so much for joining us today. This has been a lively conversation. I really hope everybody, you can check out the interview with Kezia in the bridge. So it's unabridged online, shortened in print.
Okay.
You can check it out at www.wibridgedc.com. And you definitely need to stay tuned so you can get your resources, and you all can do the My Black Receipt campaign when it comes back around in August, and so that you can get to Skill House U.
Yes, thank you, Claudia, so much for having me. Thank you, thank Lafayette, thank Malik, thank the extraordinary photographer Luna for the awesome photos. Oh, by the way, I think I'm on the newspaper.
They were great. Yes.
Yeah, I think I'm on the front of the newspaper. Is that right?
You are. Yes, this is our cover story, ladies and gentlemen. I forgot to mention that.
Thank you, Washington Informer and the Bridge family, for the opportunity. I really appreciate it. Thank you so very much.
You are welcome. All right, guys, we're going to cut to a quick commercial break, and then